Hi everyone, I'm here with our midweek read aloud today, and we're going to read a favorite of ours called King Jack and the Dragon by Peter Bentley, illustrated by Helen Oxenbury. King Jack and the Dragon. Jack, Zack, and Casper were making a den, a mighty great fort for King Jack and his men. So we got Jack, Zack, and Casper, I think. We'll find out. A big cardboard box, an old sheet, and some sticks. A couple of bin bags, a few broken bricks. They're making it themselves, aren't they? A fine royal throne from an old ragged quilt. A drawbridge. A flag. And the castle was built. "Prepare to do battle, brave knights," cried King Jack. "Protect your king's castle from dragon attacks." They spent the whole day fighting dragons. Those dragons look scary, don't they? But look over here. There's the little baby Casper with the passy. Isn't he cute? This one doesn't look too scary, does it? It's letting him mess with his tail. Are there really dragons here? Did you see any before? Are they using their imagination to pretend that they're fighting dragons, right? Yeah. Dragons are just pretend. They spent the whole day fighting dragons and beasts. Look at these guys. They look kind of silly, don't they? Look, Casper's found another kind of friendly snake there. But they are fighting with their sticks and play swords, aren't they? None of them look too scary. Are those guys there for real? They're in their imagination too. Fighting dragons and beasts. Rah! Ah, look, they're victorious, aren't they? They've scared away everything, haven't they? And return to their stronghold for fabulous feasts. "We'll all sleep the night in the fort," said King Jack. They've got their snacks. Then a giant came by and went home with Sir Zack. Is that really a giant? Who is that really taking him home? You think he wants to go? Is he ready to leave the fun? I don't think so. "Two can fight dragons, no problem," Jack said. Then another giant came and took Casper to bed. Is Casper ready to leave? Who's all alone now? King Jack? Wrapped up in his blanket, Jack sat on his throne. "All right then," he said. "I'll fight dragons alone." Then a strong gust of wind made the trees start to quiver. "It's nothing," thought Jack, with a hint of a shiver. How can you tell that it's getting to be nighttime? We saw it was getting darker, didn't we? And now he's kind of sitting in a shadow, isn't he? As the night falls. A mouse scampered over the roof. Skitter scurry. "It's nothing," thought Jack. "There's no reason to worry." "Brop," croaked a frog. "It's nothing," thought Jack, as he switched on his torch in the deepening black. It's getting darker and darker. Is Jack getting a little bit nervous? A little bit scared? Yeah. A torch means a flashlight. This book is written by a British author, so they use some different words. "Too!" called an owl. "It's nothing," Jack said, as he pulled up his blanket right over his head. He's getting pretty nervous, isn't he? Not quite as brave as he was before. Then suddenly, brave King Jack's heart skipped a beat. He could hear something coming. A thing with 4 feet. It was outside the drawbridge. King Jack gave a yelp. "A dragon! A dragon! Mom, Dad, help!" He wished he was anything else but a king as the drawbridge fell open, and there stood the thing. Ooh, what does that look like? Does that look like a creature with glowing eyes to you? And a big long tail that's going back there? It's hard to tell when it's so dark, isn't it? The thing. Look. That was his mom and dad. "We're sorry," smiled Mom, "if we gave you a fright. But it's time for brave kings to come in for the night. And kings who fought dragons all day need a bath," said Dad as he lifted King Jack off the path. Look, they had 2 flashlights. Can you tell now that that's a dad and a mom with their flashlights in their hands? And all this stuff back here was just part of the forest, bushes and stuff. "I knew you weren't really a dragon," yawned Jack, as he bravely rode home on the big giant's back. His dad. Look, there's the king asleep in his bed with his sword and his crown on the bed. Peacefully safe at home, right, in the dark. So the reason that we picked that book for this week is thinking about how things look different in the dark. Sometimes things look a little bit scary in the dark. Sometimes we think we see things in the dark. Can you think of a time when you felt afraid of being in the dark for some reason? Maybe you saw something in your room that it was like something normal that's there, but it looked different in the dark and it looked scary. Or maybe you heard a noise. Sometimes we have a plant that scratches on one of our kids' windows outside, and she does not like that when it does that because it gives her the creeps. Sometimes we feel that way when it's dark outside or in the nighttime. Well, this week in our Bible story that we're going to learn about on Sunday, we are still in the plagues in Exodus, the 10 plagues, and we're getting very close to the end. This week we're going to look at the plagues of locusts, which is really yucky, and the second one we're going to look at, which is the 9th plague, is darkness. And how heavy that darkness is for the Egyptians, how God said, this is going to be a darkness that you can feel. They're not going to be able to see anything, not even be able to see any scary shadows because it will be so dark. And that's kind of scary, isn't it? So I wanted you to start thinking about that, thinking about the dark and all the things that can easily kind of creep us out in the dark, even though we're safe in our home or safe with our parents or our grandparents or whoever. Sometimes it can be a little scary. I want you to think about how the Egyptians felt about the massive darkness that God sent in the plague. Have a good week. Bye-bye.